Shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Um, all praise to the Most High. Sorry for our uh, tardiness. Lord willing, sisters are doing well through the Spirit. Having a great Sabbath. And Lord willing, sisters had a great, beautiful feast and unleavened bread and a beautiful Passover. And for sisters that haven't kept it yet, Lord willing, have a beautiful one coming up. Um, I would like to give all honor, glory, praise to the Most High, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, through His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. And without further ado, we're going to get the foundational precept really quick, and then we will get into some more nitty gritty. So, and of course, we have the beautiful sister Yahweh not here. All praise to the Most High. Um,
Okay, Most High. All praises to the Most High. Happy to be on here. Blessed to be able to be on here. Another sister chat, another Sabbath day. All praise to the Most High.
Such a blessing because it's just such a blessing. The Most High is just merciful and so good because you got people falling out left and right. But the Bible
Yeah,
says it's going to be a great falling away before that
yeah.
day comes. So don't take it for granted. Don't take it lightly that we are still able to be in this walk. It is
Mhm.
not for the faint of heart, but don't take it lightly that you are still in this walk because it is a huge blessing. The Most High does not need us, and He could have got rid of any one of us a long time ago if He wanted to. He still can. So, Lord willing, we could do what we need to do to stay in good standings with the Lord, with the Most High, on His good
Mhm.
side.
Okay.
But this is First Peter 4:11. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of God. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which is given, that God in all things may be glorified through Yahweh Shai, to whom we praise and demand forever and ever. Amen. So we want to speak those things that are pleasing in the sight of the Lord. Um, with everything we do and say, we want to glorify the Most High because it is only His ability they were able to get on here. It is only His ability that they were able to do anything. So Hebrews 10:24, and let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works. So on here to provoke our sisters unto love and to good works through the power and spirit of the Most High God. So all praises, all praises, all praises. Y'all know, did you have anything before we moved on?
Well, just excited to get into this part three. This series has been very, very helpful, at least for me. To speak for myself, this is something that definitely needs to be touched on, cannot be touched on enough, because these are the relationships, these are the things that we go through as women, you know. This is real life stuff, so it's got to be touched on. But all praise the Most High for this series and all the things that are being brought out and revealed to us as we go through this walk in this faith. So all praise the Most High.
Okay. Um, Give me 1 second. Con, all praise to the Most High. Yeah, this is definitely something that needs to be touched on. Part three, I know. Okay, so part one, we just kind of laid the foundation. You know, what is a friend? Um, Part two, we went more so into real and fake friends, toxic friends, and those type of things to look out for. And part three, I personally think this might be the most relatable because we're all adults here. Part three is going to be going into like how to navigate those adult friendships. Like, okay, so now you know what a real friend is. Now you know what toxic and fake friends are, but how do you navigate the real people in your life? So Lord willing, we're going to be touching in like how attachment styles affect your friendships, like how the attachment style that you have affects the connections in your life. Adult friendships are different. You know, meeting people where they are. There aren't always constant communication, and letting the Most High remove people that are no longer meant to be in your life. So I think this is going to be a good one. And all praise to the Most High for putting these things in our spirit and allow us to be able to execute these through the power and spirit of the Most High. So, without further ado, we're going to get right into it. We got a lot of clips we're going to play. We're they're helpful. And we got an article we're going to read. So, stick with us. This will be the last part. It might be a little bit longer than the first and the second. So, yeah, all praise to the Most High. So, I'm going to
Hang
pull up
tight.
my first. And feel free to like conversate with us, chat with
Comment.
us in the live chat or in the comments.
Yes.
Am I in the live chat right now? Yeah. Feel free to, let us know what y'all think and things of that nature and tell us y'all thoughts as well.
Yeah, sisters chat for a reason. Sisters chat,
Right. Right.
chat
Right.
with us. Because we need the wisdom too. I know y'all got some wisdom too. Definitely drop, whatever the Most High puts on your spirit pertaining to the topic. Come on.
Con. Okay. So, this first section, everyone does not need access to you. Okay, so what the scriptures say. We're gonna read Sirach 6 and 7 again. We're gonna read verse 6 too again. I'm not gonna pull it up. I'm just gonna read it on my phone. Sirach 6 and 6: Be in peace with many, nevertheless have but one counsel for thousands. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him. So you can be in peace with many. Everyone doesn't need to be that counselor. Everybody does not need to be very intimate in your life. And I say intimate, I'm not talking about any like weird stuff, but when you have a emotional bond with someone, when you are friends with someone that is close friends, that is an intimate connection in righteousness. Everyone does not need that. Okay. And I'm not saying have respect to persons, because again, when we talked about when we were on part one and part two. So like when we did part one and part two, something I had brought out was some of these tips are also just good tips to have to how to love your neighbor. Because regardless if you're close friends with someone, you still should be able to love your neighbor and move in right good spirits with your neighbor. Okay. So don't have respect to persons, but the fact of the matter is everyone you meet, you're not going to be close with. Everyone you meet is not sincere. And so everyone does not need access to you. Everyone don't need to know your business. Everybody don't need to know all the details in your life. Everybody don't need to be the person you vent to. That certain things are meant for certain type of people, and it is what it is. Based on that connection, that level, that bond that y'all have. And I'm not saying level like rank, but there's different bonds and things like that. So con. You may trust a person a little bit more. So you feel more comfortable with that person. You might have just met some person like maybe 2 months ago. So you are not at that level of comfortability to be able to be as you would like. You're still proving that person and trying to be able to trust them. And so that's what I mean about everyone doesn't need access to you. And also some people just plain up weird. Okay, again, some people are not sincere. Some people just plain up weird and nasty. And they don't have to be in your life. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
So let's get this first link. Bro, my toddler, she just the food she's eating dropped on the floor and decided to spit it out.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, my husband said yesterday, he was like, she's really this 2-year-old toddler cake. So I'm like, that's what it seems to be. But yeah. So for this first section, I want us to remember everyone does not need access to you. It's okay to have boundaries. It's okay to have time for yourself. It's okay to not give personal info or overshare. Don't force a friendship and be cool with someone just because y'all are they're pretty, or y'all like the same foods, or y'all like the same color. But spiritually, y'all are equally yoked. Don't be together. Y'all bump heads a lot about a lot of things. And just because we're Israelites don't mean we all have to be friends. Just because we follow the Bible, read the Bible, does not mean everybody's going to be your friend.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into this first one.
This, you do not have to be nice, you do not have to be a people pleaser, you just need to be kind and you need to be generous. And I know sometimes they sound synonymous, but let me tell you the difference. When you are nice, you're performing, you're being performative, you're trying to manipulate people, you want people to think that you're nice, you want people to affirm you in being nice, and so you do things just to get that validation, just to get that approval. I'm a nice girl, everybody likes me. But when you have that boundary of I'm kind, you know how to say no. You know when it's inappropriate for you to say yes. You know how to not overextend yourself. And this is important because although we are here to be servants, we are here to help other people, we are here to share our gifts. We cannot do that effectively if we're constantly draining ourselves in order to do so. We cannot do that effectively if we are taking all of our energy, all of our time, giving it to other people. We don't even have enough time to read the word, to sit in the presence of the Father. You have to learn the difference as a woman of God. And you have to learn that because it's very easy to be manipulated into being a nice person under the guise of, oh, I thought you were a Christian. Oh, this is something that Christian, even your own programming thinking, oh, this is what Christians are supposed to do. We're supposed to be nice people. No, because sometimes you have to be firm. Sometimes you have to be very grounded in your decision, and you can exercise kindness and also tell people no at the same time. But a lot of us are programmed to be nice instead of kind. And I really want us to step outside of that. Christian women, I feel like you.
And that was good. What y'all think about that right there? I like that. I think it's facts, you know. Don't be a pushover and a people pleaser. Like, you don't know how to say no when it's appropriate. You don't know how to have boundaries, and you feel bad for having those boundaries. If you can't do it, you just can't do it. If it don't work out for you, it just don't work out for you.
Yeah.
If this is not a good time, if you're not in the mental space, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So basically, I think what something I'm taking out from that is like, you don't have to burn yourself out and completely drain yourself to show up for other people.
Mm-hmm.
You can't pour from an empty cup. So you have to be able to have those boundaries with yourself to be like, hey, I'm sorry, this, or not even I'm sorry, hey, this doesn't work for me. Maybe another time. Or hey, can we? I don't really want to talk about that. Even some of the similar, I don't want to talk about that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's okay to have boundaries. It's okay to be like, no, respectfully, no, thank you.
Right.
Not being a pushover, not being a people pleaser. You don't have to give everybody every single thing they want in order for people to like you, because the people that are meant to be in your life, the sincere, godly women that are meant to be in your life, will be in your life. So you don't have to bend yourself over backwards and try to kiss the ground everybody walk on to have friends. Be yourself. Be yourself. And those sincere people will come, because the Most High directs our friendships are right. So don't feel like you have to be a people pleaser or pushover in order to get friends, because that's just going to lead you to bad situations. Like the sister said, you'll be able to be easily manipulated. Oh, girl, I thought you were a Christian. I thought you were Israelite. Well, just because I'm an Israelite and read the Bible don't mean you're going to be able to easily push me over.
Right. That reminds me too of, even the Lord. Imagine if the Lord just said yes to everybody. If he was just readily available to everybody. No, the Lord doesn't even move in that way. He has boundaries, he has standards, laws. It's not like okay, everybody, okay, you want this? Okay, I'll give it to you. Okay, you want that? Okay, I'll give that to you. No. Even the Lord has boundaries. If we're supposed to be Christ-like, true Christians, we gotta move in that spirit too. Christ, he was austere. He had time where he was alone. He had certain disciples that were his right hand man, and some that were still disciples, but it wasn't that same bond. So we gotta learn from Christ. We gotta learn from Christ. Even John was like this, but we can definitely take some notes. That sister, she was bringing out some fire points. I'm not gonna lie. Even for me, I need to hear that again.
Yeah.
Praise the Most High.
Come on, I want to get a few definitions. I want to get a few things. So I've got the definition of, I wanted to pull up the definition of kind and nice. So kind versus nice. Being nice is about politeness and social conformity, while being kind is about genuine care and selfless action. Niceness is often a social mask or behavior motivated by expectations, fear of rejection, or desire to be liked. It involves being polite, agreeable, and pleasant in interactions, but it may not reflect genuine concern for others and can sometimes be superficial or self-serving. Example, being nice to a boss to avoid conflict. Niceness is about maintaining harmony and avoiding negative repercussions rather than actively improving someone else's well-being. Kindness, on the other hand, is an authentic, value-driven choice to help or support others without expecting anything in return. It is rooted in empathy and compassion and moral principles. Acts of kindness can include helping a stranger, supporting a charity, or standing up for someone, even if it is inconvenient or uncomfortable for oneself. Kindness is about genuinely improving the lives of others and is often consistent with a person's character rather than situational expectations. So, nice, motivated by social approval, fear of conflict, or personal gain. It may prevent honest communication or constructive feedback and often maintains the status quo. Kind, motivated by empathy and moral values, it can create meaningful, positive change, foster trust, and empower others. A coworker is sick. Nice is saying, "Hope you feel better soon." Kind is going out of your way to keep them informed about what matters. Here it again. Nice is expressing respect for the cause. Kind is actively helping to organize the fundraise. It is wrongdoing. Nice is staying silent to avoid conflict. Kind is speaking up to support fairness or justice. While both traits are positive, niceness is often situational and often superficial, whereas kindness is genuine, selfless, and value driven. So, like the sister Yabanash is bringing out, Christ was kind, man. Christ, hey, he stood on what he believed in. He's, but he wasn't no pushover. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't no pushover. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think, I'm going to speak as a woman. I think our Lord and Savior was kind based on the definition we just read, because Christ was selfless. And he didn't, it said nice is being silent, but Christ, he spoke up for the and righteousness for the right things. He went out and taught the word to the sick, cast the devils in the name, casted out demons and devils. But nice would just be, oh, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just gonna, that's not my place.
Right.
Lord and Savior wasn't like that. Now, he did tell us how to move in certain situations, like pray for those that hate you, despise you. But Christ still stood up for what was right in righteousness. And so, just because we are Christ-like and we're striving to follow after, strive, be like the Messiah, doesn't mean you have to be a pushover, and don't have personal boundaries or personal respect or personal or self-love, and or you scared. You just scared of people, so you don't never speak up or say nothing. Ain't nobody gonna bite you. Don't be scared.
Right.
But I said it with a grain of salt though, because I do understand some people have been through hard things, and it kind of makes them feel like they do have to be timid and scared because of the past experience they went through. So I don't want to offend anyone. But
Right.
nice definition is pleasant, agreeable, satisfactory. And kindness is the quality of being friendly, generous, and considerate. You see that? And then friendly is kind and pleasant, favorable and serviceable, denoting something that is adapted for, is not harmful to a specific thing. So Proverbs 8:20-24 says, "A man that have friends must show himself friendly, and there is a friend that's still closer than a brother." And so we do want to show ourselves friendly. And I find it interesting that kindness, one of the words in the definition of kindness is being friendly. So when I think of that, you're able. When I think of being friendly, what do you think? What do you think about being friendly or not? When I think of being friendly, like, I can show yourself friendly. Speak. Hey, how you doing? Do you need anything? Being cordial.
Yeah.
Like that. We want to show ourselves friendly.
Yeah. Like, not somebody, when I think of friendly, I think of kind of like the fruits of the spirit, like goodness, gentle, you're not like aggressive in your speech, and really just having like it don't have to be bubbly, but I don't think of the word, like also just being peaceable, which is a fruit of the spirit too. That's what I think of.
Kind. I like that. I'll praise this. So I'm gonna pull up the next thing. I think I'm gonna do this one first. All right, being selective in friendship. Be selective in friendship because in adulthood, friendship is no longer small talk and plans. It is carrying the weight of each other's silences, heartbreaks, and healing. It's the hand that steadies you when you cannot stand, and the voice that tells you the truth when lives will be easier. It is not built on how much fun you have, but on how deeply you're understood. It is not who laughs the loudest with you, but who refuses to leave when the room grows quiet. It is choosing each other even when life is unkind, messy, and inconvenient. And that kind of friendship is rare, which is why you guard it, honor, and never mistake it for anything less sacred. And I just thought that was so beautiful because we are adults. Okay. I'm gonna pull up this one too. Hold on. Because we can have a good time, but when you become an adult, you know how much things happen in adulthood. People lose people, grief. It's a lot of things. You grow old, so friendship is no longer, oh girl, let's go out and have a drink and let's go get some food. Those things are a good thing in friendship. Those things happen in friendship. I think that's a healthy part of friendship, being able to hang out with one another and go see one another. But it's also deeper than that, because when you become an adult and as you mature and you grow, real friends, they're gonna be there through the thickets, through the thick and thin. When life really starts life and your friend catching all types of hell going on, you gotta be that you want to be that friend that's gonna stick by him, because it's
Right.
no longer just about going to get drinks and having a good time. I'm gonna stick. I'm by your side. You know what I'm saying? That's why the Bible said, "Man, it should be so friendly as a friend to stick close to a brother." Because when your life is in turmoil, I'm gonna stick close to you, closer than a brother ever could, because you are my friend. And so, um, yeah, our personal side. So if you got someone like that in your life, cherish that bond. It's so special and beautiful. And also, you're not gonna
What?
that like you're not gonna have that bond with everyone. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not saying not to show up for people, but yeah. I forgot what I was about to get. Oh, let me hold on. It's something I wanted to get. Nope, not that one. Oh, nope, not that one. Dang it. Okay. Adult friendships aren't built on brunches and group trips. They're built on forgiveness, accountability, honesty, grace, and choosing to love each other well, even when life gets busy, distance grows, and you don't always agree. That's real friendship. Um, and so the caption says, "This is the truth about adult friendships. They aren't convenient. Excuse me. They aren't convenient. They require intentionality. But they are so worth it. And maybe the hard work involved is why it's hard to have many true close friends in adulthood. But I think that's okay. You don't need many. A man of many companions may come to ruin, but there's a friend who sticks closer than a brother. It's not about how many friends you have. It's about having the right ones, friends who are willing to love you in its truest and deepest meaning." Somebody said it's also about loyalty, integrity, support, and genuine positive intentions for one another. Okay, I don't want to. Some of these captions, these comments are good, but yeah, I wanted to bring that out to let me back on the other one we just read. Because adult friendships is not just about going out on trips and being able to have a good time, but it's also choosing to show up for one another, choosing to love each other even when life gets busy and you may not talk as often. You're still praying for that person, still checking in on that person. Hey, you doing good? Checking in briefly. Hey, how you doing? I'm doing good. Okay, talk to me in a minute. Yeah, girl, just life and still being able to kind of pick up where y'all left off. But kind of y'all don't know if you had anything.
Con, no, and that's good. That's a good point because you want to be not only just friends, but you really want to be a sister. Us know in this knowledge, we want to know. Okay, yes, even the precept. I'll bring it. You don't have to bring it up, but Proverbs 17:17, a friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. So you want to be that sister that's born for adversity. Like the sister was saying, everything isn't just get together, isn't fun. And, oh yeah, we over here, we talk about feast days, this and that, or whatever the case is. But that true friend should be able to give and take advice and be able to give good counsel, give wisdom when it's needed, and being able to, like Kabiri was saying, stick through it with you in the hardest of hard times. Because life is unpredictable. Nobody knows what tomorrow holds, the next day. Nobody. We're not the most high, we don't know. So to have that good friend by you is important. It's very, very important. And it's important also, like the post previously, the post before the post was talking about being selective, because just imagine you're a cup. You're a cup. And you just let any and everybody drink out of this cup. It's gonna be all types of saliva. Folks might have some type of disease. The cup is fire. You can pass it around to everybody. And spiritually, that's everybody. That's everybody having a dip in the partaking in your business, your affairs, and that's not even their place. You don't want to have yourself, your spirit, open up to all these different spirits, demons, all these different people, and you can be overtaken. And then we say it all the time. You're the people you choose to be around. Even scriptures say that though. Scriptures say that first. The people you have around you, the people you keep company with, highly influence you in this walk. It can make or break your walk. So we definitely want to be selective. Definitely want to be selective.
You want me to get that, y'all know? That appreciate that. Con, oh, that's the spirit, because I was trying to see how to tie that in. Look at that. But it's all right, 13:1. He that touches pit shall be defiled therewith, and he that hath fellowship with the proud man shall be like unto him. And then I'm gonna skip down to verse 13 through 15. Observe and take good heed for no, it's like 14. Love the Lord all thy life, and call upon him for thy salvation. Every beast loveth his like, and every man loveth his neighbor. All flesh consorteth according to kind, and man will cleave to his like. What fellowship hath the wolf with the lamb, so the sinner with the godly? What agreement is there between the hyena and the dog? And what peace between the rich and the poor? So kind, like the sister was saying, you know, like she said, you want to be selective because the people you have around you, he that touches pitch shall be defiled. That wherever you hanging out with a proud man, you're gonna be like unto him. Like that saying in the world, birds of a feather flock together. That is actually in the Bible. It comes from the Bible because if you flocking around with people that's proud, you're gonna be proud. If you hanging around people that gossip, you're gonna gossip. If you're hanging around people that don't have good money managing skills and is always spending everything, you're gonna be just like that. So you want to make sure that the people that you choose to have in your life, that you choose to have in your corner, are good, sincere, genuine people. And that's why we were saying it's okay to be selective. It's okay to not share all of your personal information with certain people. It's okay to have boundaries. It's okay to not want to talk to certain people because everybody's not sincere. Everybody is not in the right spirit. Everybody is not someone to be around. Okay. Everybody's not a good person. Unfortunately, there's a lot of wolves in sheep clothing. And so you want to be selective on the people that you have in your life. And the sister y'all and I made a good point about, don't just be a friend or have a friend around you. Have sisters. It's going to hold it down for you. You know what I mean? Sisters in Christ is ultimately what it's about, right? Being a sister in Christ. We should have led with that in part 1, be a sister in Christ. But our first and most high. I got one more, and then we're going to move to section 2. So let me get that. Dang, I should have. Hold on.
Needs a conversation. Some people already know.
Hold on. I restarted.
Stop addressing people on their weird behavior and just start removing their access because not everything needs a conversation. Some people already know what they're doing. They feel the shift. They notice the pullback. They just keep going to see how much you'll tolerate. And every time you explain, you give them more chances to misunderstand you on purpose. But here's the guidance part. Boundaries don't always come with speeches. Sometimes they come with distance. You don't know clarity to someone who keeps confusing you. You don't have to teach people how to treat you when they keep showing you that they won't. Removing access isn't punishment, it's protection. It's choosing peace over proving a point. It's saying, I see the pattern, and then quietly stepping out of it. The right people won't need constant reminders, and the wrong ones will feel the boundary without you saying a word.
Okay, so I'm gonna read the caption first. Sometimes the lesson isn't to explain it better. Stop addressing people on their weird behavior. Start removing their access. You don't owe clarity to people who keep choosing confusion. You don't need closure from someone who benefits from crossing your boundaries. Peace shows up faster when you stop reacting and start protecting your nervous system. Silence isn't weakness; it's self-respect in motion. So now she's not saying, and we're not saying, don't ever explain, like try to communicate with someone. She's not saying, or we're not saying just to cut everybody off and not to try to talk, because that's not what we push. Be an adult and talk. If someone has offended you, tell them. If your friend has done something, your sister has done something that you don't like or that hurts your feelings, speak up and say that.
Right.
Okay, so she's not saying just cut everybody off and don't communicate. What she's saying is once you've already said how you felt, you put a boundary in place, and said person continues to cross your boundary, and they know what they're doing, and you've had more conversations than you can count. Stop explaining and just remove yourself.
Yep.
Straight like that. Look, and the Bible tells us that after the first and second admonition, reject.
Reject.
I told you how I felt like once or twice. You keep playing in my face. I don't got nothing else to say.
Okay.
So just take a step back. That's what she's saying. So I wanted to just put that out there.
I like how she also said too, like people who are causing confusion. We know the Lord is not an author of confusion.
The spirit I was gonna say
So
that.
you confused, you're like, dang, well, why is this person treating me like this? Why are they not getting it? Why is this and that happening? So yeah, my neighbors. But there should be no confusion in the friendship. It should be clarity through and through. And if you are confused about something, it gets cleared up extremely fast. But as far as like a constant pattern of confusion, people just not treating you how they should be treating you, not moving in the fruits of the spirit, not crossing boundaries left and right. That's not a friend. That's not a friend. And that is don't feel bad. Don't feel bad because you don't want to be a pushover, like Barry was saying, and you don't want to be having it to where people are stepping on you, they're crossing boundaries, and now you're down, you're sad, depressed because everybody's treating you like crap. Okay.
Yep, I was thinking about that. Most of the other confusion. So if you got somebody around you, and you gotta remember, we don't deal with people. We dealing with spirits.
Yep.
Some people got spirits on them, and they like that. They like drama. They like confusion. They like pissing you off. Like some people actually like making people mad. They get off on that. So if you've already expressed how you felt more than twice, a few times, stop over explaining yourself. Stop trying to beg somebody to understand where you're coming from. They don't get it, they just don't get it.
Yep.
All you can do is pray that the Lord soften their heart. Sometimes, now if there's like I'll say for me, like for example, sometimes if I'm trying to like get my husband to understand where I'm coming from over and over, sometimes it may be me and I have to look in the mirror. So also make sure that it's not actually you. It's something you're doing. But if it's someone that's like constantly disrespecting you, crossing your boundaries, being rude, being nasty, doing stuff you've already explained and asked that you don't like, you got to also remember being a sister in Christ, being a good sister friend is being considerate. So if I know my friend is not like this and my friend or my sister has already told me that they don't like this and I continue to do it, well, then what do I expect?
Right.
They have every right to remove me out of their life. This is their life.
Exactly.
I mean, obviously we don't know obviously we know we don't own our own lives, but you know what I mean. Um, so, guys, did you have anything else y'all know?
No, like that hit the hammer on the head. Hammer on the head.
Okay.
You definitely gotta just, you could look what they be saying. I can show you better than I can tell you. So, look, you ain't hear me the first time. What we talk about? I'm not talking no more, and that's gonna save us a lot of peace too. A lot of peace. All that repeating yourself and all that take energy from you. Unnecessary energy. When you could just create that distance. Long handle spoon. I think we said that in one of the previous parts, but love people from a distance. Long handle spoon.
Yeah, especially when y'all like, especially like when that person is not really understanding. At this point, you just want to argue, baby. I'm not gonna argue with you. We're just going to be arguing. We're not about to keep going back and forth over and over and over again. If you don't get it and we just can't see eye to eye, I just probably need to take a step back. And if it's the Lord will, maybe we can come back together and have a more civilized conversation in the fruits of the spirit. And when we both calm and level headed. But if we're going to keep going back and forth because you're not, you constantly keep saying you don't understand, and I've already explained to you in every form that I could explain to you, well, I don't appreciate that, and you cross my boundary. I am not about to go back and forth and keep arguing.
No.
So to her point, it definitely saves peace. So that's what the sister's saying. Stop over explaining yourself. Stop explaining yourself to people that know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Just stuff. Just deuces. Deuces. I gotta go. Gotta go. But okay, section 2. Adult friendships are different. Meeting people where there are. Sometimes respecting the space and showing up in the way that they need you. Even with longer friendships where y'all have been friends for years, you are both still growing, both still changing, constantly putting off old ways. So in a sense, you're always learning each other in the new season that you're in. And also pouring into those who pour into you. Excuse me. So did you have anything before I pull up these links?
No, let's get into it. Section 2, man.
Okay, let's get in.
Section
All right.
2.
So adult friendship can get quiet. And that doesn't always mean the love is gone. Sometimes it just means life is full. We're juggling marriages, kids, her careers, healing, growth, and responsibilities that pull us in different directions. So grace is necessary. But grace doesn't mean imbalance. A healthy bond still requires mutual effort. It shouldn't always be one person reaching out, checking in, and understanding while the other just receives. Real friendship allows space for busy seasons, yes, but it also vows reciprocity. I'm butchering that word. Reciprocity. I don't know.
Were you having me, Richard? Hold on. Reciprocate.
It values people reciprocating it. Let me just say that. Reciprocity. Maybe that's what it is. Don't confuse silence with lost love, and don't ignore patterns where you're the only one keeping it alive. And that's real. You know, sometimes you're going to be in different seasons, all right? And you got to meet your friends, meet your sisters where they are. Give grace. You know, they might be juggling a lot. You might be juggling a lot. But that doesn't mean imbalance. You know, y'all both still want to make sure y'all are pouring into each other, whatever that looks like. There's always one person checking in, always one person calling, always one person wanting to hang out, always one person wanting to do everything. That's not a balance. That's imbalance, and that can be unhealthy. Now it can be fixable. You know, if you express to your friend, "Hey, I feel like I know, maybe you've been busy, but I kind of feel like you've been kind of real distant. You don't." It seems like I'm always the one kind of reaching out, checking in on you. Now that friend may be like, "Oh, dang, right? You know what? I do apologize about that. I'll make sure to do better on that." So sometimes those things are fixable. So make sure you communicate. Have that healthy, open line of communication. Like, we are adults, okay? And if you are choosing to have people in your life, also the most intimate parts of your life, the things you're going through, communicate. What bothers you? Communicate. If you would like something better, like communicate.
Right.
Communicate.
Not your mind readers. So communication is definitely number one.
Yeah, we got a lot going on enough. Like, okay, I gotta make us thousands of decisions a day. I gotta think for two. I gotta think for a toddler and a baby. Okay, and I got a man to cater to. Like, look, I don't got time to be reading nobody wine. Okay, so let's just make it easy on each other. Just communicate with me. I communicate with you.
Please.
It's already hard enough as it is with these kids, man. Like,
don't make me guess with you too.
Okay, like, come on now. We too grown for that to be playing a guessing game. My kids, they get a pass.
Right.
My husband might get a pass, but you, come on now. Meet me. Come on, let's meet each other in the middle. But next one. All right.
Then in my life where I can already tell what relationships won't work in my life based on how needy a person is. And me and a needy friend, it's not gonna work. I have literally gotten to the point where I love a good low maintenance friendship. Okay. When people have a life, ooh, I love that. Like when you got a man, ooh, like you fit me. Like when you have kids, when you have a business, when you have goals, when you have things that you just busy doing, I love a equally as busy friend and a low maintenance friendship. I love people who understand that we might talk once a week, But we also may not talk for 2 weeks. Like we get on the phone and no one cares. Like we pick up exactly where we left off. Like nothing ever happened. Nobody's keeping score. If you need too much of me, if you need to talk every day, it's not gonna work. I am at the season where I just love. Ooh, anybody else love a good girlfriend who's busy? Y'all might meet up once a month, if that, and there is no problem. The energy is just bomb. It's just peaceful. You just catch up and you go on about your day. I love it.
Okay, so all right. So y'all can tell me what y'all think about that. I'm gonna read the caption. Lately, I fall in love with low maintenance friendships, the kind where nobody is counting days, nobody's keeping score, and nobody is offended because life is life. My current friend group is like this, and I feel like it is such a blessing. We're building businesses, raising families, chasing dreams, healing, resting, and sometimes we just do not have the capacity to talk every single day. And the friends who get that, those are my people. The ones where we can disappear, reappear, and pick up right where we left off with no explanations. Also, being a low maintenance friend does not mean that you are not there for your friends in time of need or loss. I'm curious though, are you in your low maintenance friendship era? Do you still need daily check-ins to feel connected? So, it was 2 comments in here that I really wanted to touch on that I liked, offering 2 different perspectives. But y'all gotta excuse the noise because I don't know what my kids got going on.
Yeah. It was reading the comments, it was definitely kind of split. Like some people were like, no, like they feel like, it's needed in a friendship, the constant checking in and updates and oh, I'm wondering how you're doing and this and that and we need to be there for each other all the time, every day kind of situation. And some people were like, no, like I'm with you. They're with the sister in the video. Like, yes, that's what I love a good low maintenance friendship. That y'all definitely let us know in the comments which do y'all prefer in y'all season of life or in general, low maintenance friendship or a high maintenance friendship.
Okay, I found the comments. All praises. I want to read a few. So, y'all can see my screen. Okay. So one of them says, calling friendships low maintenance is actually derogatory to me. When it comes to my energy and how I show up, I don't give low maintenance and I don't expect it either. I view my friends the same way I view my family. My family doesn't get a watered down version of me. What they get is a balanced version of me. An idea that my energy should be primarily centered around a man is honestly sad. Reading some of these comments makes it clear how deeply male centered a lot of women have been conditioned to think. Being busy or choosing. Okay, I'm just going to work. Everyone in your life is capable of disappointing you. Your partner, your family, your friends. No one is exempt. So acting like adult friendships are less valuable by default makes no sense. If anything, the only thing that should be truly centered above all is God. Everything else requires discernment and balance. Too many women pick and choose their value goals, and friendship usually ends up getting the shortest end of the stick. That's not maturity, that's avoidance. And that's a conversation you should have with yourself in the mirror, not me. That's all I have to say on it. Okay. I get the idea of grace, understanding, and friendship, but for me, low maintenance doesn't fully fit how I show up. My energy toward people in my life is high, intentional, and rooted in growth. These are some ChatGPT generated comments, I'll tell you that. My energy, friendship to me are meant to evolve into family and sisterhood. I'm not asking for all your time, just presence, effort, and balance. We all get busy, but we make time for what matters. Instead of calling it low maintenance, I'd rather call it intentional connection. That's the frequency I move on. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, I mean, y'all let us know what y'all think about them comments because it's like, I kind of see where they coming from, but at the same time, it's like some parts are like, I don't know.
Yeah, so this one, I see what she mean right here. I'm not asking for all of your time, just presence, effort, and balance. We all get busy. So I kind of resonate with that comment. Like, I mean, I understand we all get busy. I'm not asking to talk to you every day or check in every day. I understand we get busy, but as long as we have a balance and are showing up for one another and putting in effort, that's what matters to me. So instead of calling it low maintenance, intentional connection, being intentional, because friendship is being intentional. Being a sister is being intentional. It was another one I wanted to read. I'm looking for. Hold on. Let's see. Okay. I don't know. I can't find it. But it says I have it on my phone. It says I think y'all are misconstruing what we mean by low maintenance. I'm a low maintenance friend. I don't need you to check in with me daily, monthly, or yearly for me to still be accessible for you in your time of need. I won't get mad about you not answering the phone, not being able to make it to a dinner. If you found love and went ghost, it doesn't offend me. I'm your friend for real. And when life happens, I'll be there when it all settles. And people like me often have a village of other friends, so we're not putting such a burden on one person to be everything for us. I have different friends for different reasons, different seasons, and because of that, I prefer low maintenance friends as well. I can see that comment as well. What y'all think about that?
I could definitely see that. That comment that wait, scroll up a little bit. It was kind of similar. I feel like it's definitely a different no. I think the one above that one. Right there. Going ghost for months and a low maintenance friendship are two different things. Can't expect a friendship to grow if you aren't watering it. Doesn't have to be daily, not even weekly, but over 6 months without talking. Now that is crazy work. 6 months? 6 months is extremely crazy.
Yeah.
I definitely don't condone the whole ghosting thing. I feel
Yeah.
like, even back to the intentional connection comment, like if you already know you're in that space, in that mode where you just, some sisters they just don't like to talk for, weeks, months, whatever the case is, communicate that. Communicate that. Especially if you see this sister is like, okay, she didn't check on me, she didn't double texted, triple texted, whatever the case is, she didn't text it this week and she texted the next week because she hasn't heard from you, and she texted from the next week. Be intentional and be, just considerate because you on your phone regardless of people like to, realize it or not, you on your phone, whether you got a business, checking the time, all that, you see the messages. So, definitely don't condone ghosting. That's not, it's just not kind. It's not considerate to people's time.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Like this comment I just read, it says, I'm not mad if you found love and went ghost. It doesn't offend me. Well, maybe it just might offend you, but I don't I don't really, just communicate. If you are in a different season in your life and you're not going to be as talkative or you need space, communicate that. But going ghost, never hearing from you again, so like 4 months later, I would call that more of an associate than a sincere friend. For sure.
For sure.
I think what she's getting at with low maintenance is like, I don't know. I'm really having a hard time understanding. The comments are making it better to understand, but yeah.
Yeah, we definitely want to hear y'all's thoughts on this one because it's like a mixed bag.
Yeah.
Like, we feel what she's saying, but at the same time, like,
Yeah.
So it's definitely something. Definitely a think piece. Something to think on.
I just want to bring that out, get us to, get y'all thoughts on that. But I'm gonna get this next one. Adult friendship is loving people you rarely see and hoping they know it. Send this to someone to remind them you love them anyway. Caption: Growing up means schedules get busy, life gets loud, distance happens, but real friendships do not fade. They grow quietly with love and understanding. This made you think of someone, send it to them. And so that is a part of adult friendship. Sometimes they get quiet. Sometimes they get quiet. You may not talk as often. You may not see each other as often because this different busy seasons, but y'all are still able to check up and pour into each other whenever y'all can. And that's gonna go into the next one. So I'm a you right there. Y'all want to
I wanted to get this really quick. It's okay. I wanted to get this really quick. And First Maccabees, let me pull it up really quick. I'm gonna do it on my phone. It's okay. I'm gonna get First Maccabees, chapter 12, and I'm gonna start at 6. It reads, Jonathan the high priest and the elders of the nation and the priests and the other of the Jews unto the Lacedaemonians, their brethren send greeting. These were letters sent in times past unto Onias, sent unto Onias the high priest from Darius, who reigned then among you, to signify that ye are our brethren, as the copy here underwritten doth specify. At which time Onias, entreated the ambassador that was sent honorably, and received the letters wherein declaration was made of the league and friendship. So we're in the time of Maccabees, and Jonathan the high priest at this time and the other elders, they're sending letters to the Lacedaemonians, also our people, and they are basically saying, hey, it's been a long time, but it's no love lost. This is what happened, this is what was going on. We had this, and this going on. And reading on verse 9, therefore we also, albeit we need none of these things, that we have the holy books of scripture in our hands to comfort us, have nevertheless attempted to send unto you for the renewing of brotherhood and friendship, lest we should become strangers unto you altogether. For there is a long time past since ye sent unto us. So it's saying, dang, it's been a long time since y'all sent unto us. And, nevertheless, we're attempting to send unto you. We're sending these letters to y'all, letting y'all know, like, hey, we're okay over here. We got the holy books to comfort us. We got the scriptures. Let's read. And they're saying this so lest we should become strangers unto you altogether. So that's another point for the ghosting. You don't want to just completely ghost nobody. That's crazy. Because then y'all gonna be strangers. It's been 6 months since I heard from you. I don't even know you anymore. A lot can happen in 6 months. 6 months is a long time. Half a year, you can be a whole nother person. So you want to definitely keep that line of communication open. Have a balance. If you have to take time, okay, but have discernment. Unless you become strangers with your friend. Verse 11. We therefore at all times. See, tell you. Verse 11, we therefore at all times without ceasing, both in our feasts and other convenient days, do remember you in the sacrifices which we offer, and in our prayers, as reason is, and as it becometh us to think upon our brethren. And we are right glad of your honor. As for ourselves, we have had great troubles and wars on every side, for so much as the kings that are round about us have fought against us. Howbeit, we would not be troublesome unto you, nor to others of our confederates and friends in these wars, for we have help from heaven that succoureth us, so as we are delivered from our enemies, and our enemies are brought under foot. So I'm gonna pause there. Okay, sorry. Two more. For this cause, For this cause we chose Numenius, the son of Antiochus, and Antipater, the son of Jason, and sent them unto the Romans to renew the amity that we had with them in the former league. We commanded them also to go unto you and to salute and to deliver you our letters concerning the renewing of our brotherhood. So, just bringing that out to say, it's important to have that communication. It's important too, also, if you are in those seasons of, okay, I just got married, hey, I just lost somebody in my life, I need some space, whatever the case is going on, make sure that you don't let too much time go by. Don't let too much time go by and letting them know, like, hey, even if it's just a houses, I know you've been checking on me or wondering about me. I'm doing good. I just need some more time. I have been praying for you. Please pray for me. I got XYZ going on. Just be considerate and be mindful. And that was exhibited in the time of the Maccabees. They had wars going on. That's a lot going on. Wars. You might see brother killed, you get killed. You got all types of madness going on, the heathen trying to overthrow, all types of stuff going on. But they still put in that effort. They still were intentional with their connection, and they still made sure, okay, let's send these letters out, let them know, hey, we're good. We got the Most High on our side. Heaven is helping us. All praise to the Most High. We've been thinking about y'all. We good. But I yield.
That was Shalawam. Shabbat Shalom. That was really good. I praise the Most High, the water for bringing that out. Yeah, that was good. You know, like the sister saying, even if it's just a quick check in. Hey, thank you for thinking of me, or hey, I've been thinking of you. Love you. Hope all is well. Yes, all is well. Lord willing, we can catch up soon. Even like
Yeah.
communicating. You know what I mean. So the next one, section 3, is kind of like we're lambing back and off of section 2. We just talked about adult friendships are different. And the last one we talked about was loving people you rarely see. So now we're gonna kind of go drift into segue into adult friendships aren't always constant communication. Um, and showing how your attachment styles affect your friendships. So this is gonna be a little lengthy read. So stick with us. All right, attachment styles and friendship, how early bonds shape adult connections. Now, I think it's been on either me or y'all when I was one of our lessons, or me and Lily one of our podcast episodes. But I've said this before, and I'll stick by this when I say your attachment style affects how you show up in every connection. Whether that's with your husband, with your children, with the sisters around you, with people at work, with strangers, how you grew up, if you had any type of trauma, that shows up in how you connect and speak and treat other people. I wholeheartedly think that and stick by that. I do. So we're gonna read the article and maybe I can convince y'all of it too. No, I'm playing. But I think um it is definitely a thing and true. And I think that's why it's important to know how we grew up, and if you have any trauma, if you went through anything, to heal seriously, because um and I'm pretty sure we all got a lot of healing to do, but to heal, because if you don't heal that, it's gonna just trickle into your marriage, your children, and every connection you have. If you don't really be real with yourself, look yourself in the mirror and heal the inner parts of you, your inner child, then how you were raised or grew up is just gonna kind of forever stick with you, and you're gonna, move in that lens of how you were used to things being. Example, like, well, I'm gonna stop right there because I don't want to like spoil too much, but it's not that long, honestly. Yeah, it's not that long, and I'm a pretty fast reader, and we might not read all of this. It's just probably just gonna jump around, get the nibbits, and But it's like it. Do you find yourself feeling anxious when your friends seem absent, trying hard to bring them close to you again? Or do you find that you're the friend who pulls away when the friendship starts to feel too close? If so, this might be because you have an insecure attachment style, yes, even when it comes to your friendships. We usually talk about attachment theory in relation to your parents or childhood or your romantic partners in adulthood, but attachment theory goes well beyond these relationships, describing how we interact with ourselves and the rest of the world, including our relationships with friends, and even work colleagues. See that? I just said that. All praise. Your attachment style influences every aspect of your friendships, from how you form them, how you keep them, even how you end them. In this article, we explain why your attachment style friendships, what each attachment style looks like in friendships, and how you can work on more secure attachment patterns with your friendships. So, why attachment matters more in friendships than we realize. Our attachments to our caregivers are our most important attachments as infants, and these go on to influence the friendships we develop through our childhood. Our parents or caregivers remain the most influential attachments until we reach adolescence, where attachment functions start to transfer from our parents to our peers. These attachments to our friends shape the quality of our friendships, which are important factors in how positively we feel about ourselves. Positive relationships with friends have even been found to buffer against the negative effects of a poor romantic relationship, and the benefits of friendships are greater for people who are married. As our world becomes increasingly digital, the quality of our real world friendships become more and more important. We are reporting record feelings of isolation, often called the loneliness epidemic, and many adults find it difficult to make new friends. Nurturing secure attachments to our existing friends can be one of the most important things we can do for our well-being. So, speaking, and it said the most, your parent or your caregiver is the most influential attachment bond and influential attachment you have until you reach adolescence, and that's so true because your mom or your caregiver is the person taking care of you all the time. And I can speak as a mother perspective, having two littles, a toddler and a baby. I am the most influential attachment figure that they have. Obviously, their dad as well, but I'm here around the clock, round the clock. So whatever I'm showing them is what they're gonna take with them into the real world. So if I'm always annoyed or snappy or distant or telling them stop all that crying, be quiet, you okay, get up, they're going to take that with them into the real world. And so as they grow up, they're gonna process, well, my mom was never there for me emotionally. She always told me I was okay and just to get myself up. Now, I'm not saying to coddle your children and to not push them towards independence. There's a difference. But if I'm always distant, and that's why I'm saying we have to heal. Because if you have distant and avoided parents, and you bring that into how you parent your children, the traumas, the cycles continue to go on. And so if you are never able to show up emotionally for your kids, they're gonna take them to the real world. My mom was never there for me emotionally, and I was always pushed to figure it out myself. And so that's what I just do. I figure it out myself. And so I say all that to say that parent or caregiver being the most influential attachment is very true. Speaking from a mother perspective, because I am that influential attachment for my children, and as well as anyone out here that are mothers. And I'm pretty sure we can all speak for ourselves and say how we were raised, and if our parents were there for us emotionally and physically, how that affects you today. So I'm you right there. If you had anything you want to know.
And it leaks into, from your children and how they react to, their future spouses, how they act within their relationship, and even when they react with their friends. All these things play a part and they make a difference. So it's definitely important to be mindful of, breaking these generational curses, spotting these spirits, because that's all it is. It's all it is, spirits of, being anxious in your relationship, spirits of being feeling like you're not good enough, and feeling like you don't want to get attached because you might get hurt, and this and all that. Those are spirits. But, I can read this for you. You want me to start at first? All right, so what is attachment theory in friendships? So first, let's make sure we understand. Here. Lock it up. 1 second. So first, let's make sure we understand how attachment theory applies to friendships. So you got your very first attachment to your caregiver that builds an internal working model, which is like a mental map of relationships based on these early experiences. If your caregiver is attentive and trustworthy, you build an internal working model that other people will generally be attentive and trustworthy. And researchers have found that these early internal working models go on to influence how we interact with our first friends. Lower attachment security at age 3 is associated with higher rates of peer rejection and challenging behaviors at 4 and 5. Some social psychologists suggest a hierarchical structure for attachment systems. In this model, each level influences the one below it. So if your general attachment style is secure, this influences your attachment style with your friends, which might also be secure. Since this influences your attachment relationships, you might be more securely attached to Anna and Brett. But if you have particular clashes or communication difficulties with Chris, you can still have an insecure attachment relationship with them. So, it's not exclusive. Different relationships are different with everybody. I mean, no two people are the same. So you might have a secure connection with, sister, I don't know, Nadia, and sister, Elena. And, when it comes to sister Abigail, the communication is kind of wonky. She, you might struggle with, certain spirits, and it just be all off. But hold on. Bakan, all praise Most High. So said this was so needed because I still struggle with it. I feel like I'm doing the same to my children. So all praise Most High for this lesson. All praise Most High. Yeah, we all got a lot of inner work to work on, and it all just comes with growing, learning in this truth, learning ourselves because we're supposed to be new women. We die daily, so we got to continually learn ourselves and purge out, these different things that are not profitable for us in this walk. So we got in this model. Wait, hold on. I read that part. This illustrates that our internal working model does influence our relationships, but it isn't the only factor. Your internal working model is also changeable with time and experience. So, attachment as your first friendship blueprint. Thanks to our internal working models, our attachment styles at all levels function as an unconscious guide for navigating friendships. They become a mental filter through which we interpret our friends' behaviors. For example, if a friend doesn't reply to your message for a long time, what do you assume is the reason? If you're securely attached to them, you likely assume that they're busy and they'll get back to you as soon as they can. If you're insecurely attached, you might assume that their silence means they no longer care about your friendship and they must be ghosting you. That's the one right there. You don't want to be in that spirit. Or you start the mind racing, overthinking. That's moving the fruits of the spirit. Your peace have gone from you because you think, dang, this is something I did. Kind of run through your mind, dang, did I say something? What that last message did I send? Did she really like that? But if you're securely attached, you'd be like, oh, she must be busy. She might be caught up with the kids. You might be, had to do something. You might fell asleep. Whatever the case is. But reading on. It can be difficult not to act on these assumptions, even though they can be far from objective reality. Your attachment system has a strong influence on your emotions and behaviors because it was designed for survival. And I think I seen a post, I think maybe last week or a week before that, and it was saying how a lot of people, they undermine the importance of our thoughts. Like our thoughts can really shape reality for us because your thoughts, everything you think, they say so is a man thinking so as he is. So you got to really take that into account. Like, okay, if I'm thinking all the time, yes, everybody hates me. Okay, if nobody texts me back, I must have did something. I'm not worthy of a good friendship. Oh, they don't like me. Oh, this and that. Oh, that will continue to be a reality. You continue to feed those thoughts. You're not casting down those thoughts. You're not rebuking those thoughts. You're not changing your mindset and the way you think. And that's how you're going to be. And that's what it's going to be. And again, we know that we come from the world. We have different attachment styles, different traumas that different sisters have been through. But of course, going on that healing journey, being intentional about it and knowing, okay, I can shift my reality. I can shift the way I think through the spirit and make sure that I'm not moving in a spirit of where I'm carrying too much, carrying what I wasn't called to carry, and making sure that I'm not placing those burdens on other people too, because that can be very strenuous to a relationship. You might be friends with a sister that has a secure attachment style, and here you are. As soon as the sister get busy, what's going on? Hey, you calling, blowing up her phone. Hey, what's going on? Did I do something? Did I offend you? Did this happen? What happened? Da, da, da. Or, it might be a different situation where you get distant, where it's like, okay, you and sister, she been talking for, I don't know, a year. And you see, okay, dang, well, we kind of getting a little close, we starting to hang out a lot more. We starting to talk a little bit more. Let me just kind of distance myself. And you ghost the sister. And the sister like, dang, well, what's going on? I done shared certain things with this sister, and she done disappeared. She done went ghost on me. I don't know what's going on. And now you might have spirits hop on that sister, and she like, dang, I can't trust nobody because the last sister I got close with, she done ghosted me for no reason. So I don't want to build no more bonds with nobody. Every action has a consequence. You got to be mindful of it. What kind of yield if you had something?
That was good stuff. I'm telling you, man, that attachment style, That stuff
Yeah.
run deep.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if you don't know your attachment style,
Look it up.
look it up.
Examine.
Look it up. Do some praying, some self-reflecting, and let's heal, man. Because how you grew up and that attachment style, it runs deep, and it shows up in everyday life, how you talk to people, how you treat people, how you think, all that. Like the article said, if you got a friend that didn't text you back, if you're securely attached, you'll likely assume that they're busy and they'll get back to you when they can. If you're insecurely attached, you might assume their silence means they don't longer care about you or your friendship. They must be ghosting you. Something's wrong. Oh my gosh, is they okay? Are they okay? Is something wrong? You know they're gonna respond. It's okay. They're gonna respond. Now we're not saying if they're showing obvious signs that something may be wrong, and you might be used to hearing from them. Let's say, at least I don't know. I'm trying to make it big. Like I'm not saying it's not okay to be concerned when you haven't heard from that friend and you normally hear from that friend. Like example, let's say I don't know. I hear from y'all and I like every week, and it's been maybe 3 months and I haven't heard, or maybe like a month. Okay, there's nothing wrong with checking in. Hey, girl, you good? You usually hear from you. That's different from the friend that even text you back. You automatically think, oh my gosh, should I do something? They must don't care about me no more. Are they ghosting me? What's going on? But it's different if you normally hear from that friend and you're concerned, rightfully so, not rightfully concerned, not overthinking.
Right.
So
Not making up stuff in your mind, and now you
exactly,
bugging out.
exactly. Oh, I love how they have like a start to heal. They got workbooks and emotional stuff. Girl, I'm not gonna lie. After the Sabbath, I'm gonna have to look into that this week. I
Yeah.
like, I like that. I didn't even notice that.
The attachment project.
I love that. All praises. Um. Okay. Did you want me to pick back up? Did you want me to?
Hold on. Yeah, you can pick up, and I'll just bring out what chat has said after the fact.
Okay. It's okay, baby. How friendship attachment differs from romantic attachment. The attachment system is the same, whether it's in relation to your parents or friend, partner, parents or friends. However, the meaning and strength of these attachments are often different. Our romantic relationships have different dynamics compared with our platonic relationships. And obviously, platonic is like, it's not romantic. And conflict with your partner might look very different to conflict with your friends. Many people experience stronger attachment system responses in romantic relationships. This could be because we tend to spend more time and invest more deeply in romantic partners, especially as we get older. Attachment anxiety or attachment avoidance can therefore cause more challenges in romantic relationships than in friendships, as we perceive the risk of rejection can feel much higher. This doesn't mean that this can't happen in friendships, and many people do feel that their closest friendships are just as important or more important than their romantic relationships. If this is you might experience more intense attachment reactions with your friends. The same can be true for parents, colleagues, or any important attachment in your life. Well, obviously, biblically, we know that nobody should be before. Obviously, the Most High's first.
Right.
Okay, and after the Most High, nobody should be before your husband if you're
Right.
married. So, biblically speaking, your friendship should not rank over your marriage because you are married and you and your husband are in it for life.
Right.
And granted, you might have a friend that you might be in it with life in, but that's a different connection.
Yeah.
Okay, you and your husband are one flesh. Y'all live together. Y'all breathe the same air. Like totally different.
Yeah.
No, your friendship should not be above your marriage. And if you are finding that ain't okay, you need to check that.
Yeah. That's what people in the world do.
Right.
People in the world, they it's a spirit for sure. They be in the world. Yeah, this my man. It be weird spirit. Don't even be on like the homo tip, but they be, oh yeah, babe, that's my girl. Yeah, this we together. F that man. Women do that. It's very much a real thing. They will drop their spouse quickly if their friends say so, or if we get into their friendship and all that, they'll do that. But that's not the order of the Most High. That's not biblical at all.
Yeah, let's get that because that's kind of weird.
Extremely weird. Which
First
one?
Corinthians 11:3. But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God. And yeah, I'm gonna stop there. And then what's the other one I was about to get? Dang, I forgot that quick. Oh, one flesh.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where it's at. Was it Mark? Okay, Mark 10, and I'm gonna read verse 7. No, I'm gonna start at 5. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, for the hardness of your heart he wrote you this precept, but from the beginning of the creation God made them male and female. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. So then they are no more twain, but one flesh. What therefore God hath joined together, let no man put asunder. So you're one flesh with your husband, okay? And the head of the woman is the man. So you and your husband should have a connection, a bond that no man can break, that nobody can get in between of, because y'all are one. And so that should be over any type of friendship you have, because that is the person that you are. Now, yes, friendships are intimate, but obviously a marriage, that is a different type of intimacy. That is
Yeah.
a different type of connection. That's a different type. Like some things in marriage ain't nobody gonna know nothing about, because it's our marriage, is our business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so have that balance and that boundary. Some things in marriage should not be, is everything that need to be talked about in your marriage. Everything, your marriage is not a circus, it's not a show.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, we not pushing friendship over marriage. Friendships are definitely important and beautiful. Your sisters in Christ are important, but you need to make sure that your husband, that is not like, you know what I'm saying? You're not putting, oh well, man, my friends, my friendship. I mean, if my homegirls don't like you, then boo, we gonna have to separate. No type of
Yeah.
madness like that.
Right.
So I yield there.
Huh.
Um, go ahead. Okay. But I think we stopped right here. Okay. So how attachment patterns show up most in friendships. In romantic relationships, attachments behavior merge most strongly when the relationship feels under threat. Platonic relationships are no different. People with insecure attachment styles, when it comes to their friendships, report finding it difficult to make friends, let alone keep them. People in high attachment anxiety generally view others positively and are more likely to reach out to friends for support, but also worries that their friends don't value them as much as they value their friends. On the other hand, people high in attachment avoidance tend to view others negatively and are more likely to judge their friends and perceive that they don't live up to their ideal standards. This might be part of the reason why securely attached people tend to have more close friends, with research suggesting that they maintain attachment networks of around 7 to 8 people, compared with 1 to 2 people for insecurely attached individuals. While we on this topic, let's just pull it up so we can see what we're working with here.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
attachment styles folks got.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I first looked into this like in 2020 when I was like in high school. It's my first time like really hearing about it, looking it up. So let's see what this is talking about. Let's see. All right.
You want me to read it for you?
Yeah, I'm trying to see though. Like I want to find one in childhood so we can it can make sense. Like how your parent was.
Mm.
Okay, y'all, calm down. Okay, no, I know. I'm looking for one where it shows how the parent was. Give me 1 second, my love. Parenting. This might be the one. Okay, so I guess we could use this one. Please bear with us, y'all. So sorry. I'm trying to see the best thing I could pull up to use a. Okay, find another one. Hmm. I'm trying to find a good one. I'm really trying to find a good one. Let's see. This might be one. Give me 1 second, my love. This might be one. Sorry, y'all.
No need to apologize.
Okay, that link is tripping out. Let me see. I guess I just. I'm not really feeling any of these. Let me try this. Attachment parenting. Okay. Let's see. Nah, you're gonna have to pay for that. Okay, all right. I'm just gonna go with the first one I came across. My bad, y'all. So let me pull it back up and wherever it was. There is one I saw that it kind of explains how the parent was, and not more so how the child was as a child. I'm trying to find that one so we can put in the lens of how our parents was. Okay, might be okay. We could use this one. Okay. Whew, so sorry, y'all. Okay, so attachment style. I'm gonna zoom it in. So, okay, a secure attachment style. The parent was aligned with the child and in tune with the child's emotion. So, obviously, all of us in the truth, we're aiming to be that secure attachment style for our children. Avoidant, unavailable, or rejecting. So like we go back up. Secure. So the adult would be able to create meaningful relationships, empathetic, and able to set appropriate boundaries. So that's why we're saying let's heal. So that way, we can set that example for our children. That's why we're saying it's okay to set boundaries. It's okay to know when you might need to remove someone from your life. Now, an avoidant parent would be unavailable or rejecting, meaning they would avoid closeness and emotional connection when you were a child or a teenager. They would be distant, critical, rigid, or intolerant. Ambivalent would be inconsistent and sometimes intrusive parent communication. They were anxious and insecure, controlling, blaming you, erratic, unpredictable, sometimes charming. Disorganized parents were ignored or didn't see child's needs. So the child was ignored or their needs weren't met. Parental behavior was frightening and traumatizing. So they would be explosive, abusive, untrusting, while you were wanting that security. They were chaotic. Okay. So think more so abuse, issues, or ambivalent. So like you think more so manipulative, blaming you, they iffy, confusing, and reactive, extremely unattached or malfunctioning. And they would be often misdiagnosed, cannot establish positive relationships. So I don't know what that reactive got going on, but so this is like something you can kind of go by to try to see what your parents were like to try to help understand your attachment style. And there's a lot of resources out here where you can take a quiz or continue to research it and try to see how it was for you growing up, so you can better understand the attachment style you have, so we can all get to that secure style and be secure parents and secure adults.
Come.
Now,
Where will we find that? Slocky.
what were you about to say? Sorry.
I was gonna say, Lord willing, I can find that. Remember when we did that quiz a while back? I was gonna try to see if I could find that
Okay.
understanding your attachment style quiz.
Okay, it's a lot out here. Like there's no one shoe fits. It's a lot of different companies or websites that do the quiz for free.
Yeah.
So, but kind. So now this is one for like more so us understanding attachment styles on how we act. So you might be secure if you have healthy balance of independence and relying on others, healthy boundaries and ability to trust, viewing yourself and others positively, comfortable with healthy communication and emotional intimacy, strong self worth, and confidence. Now, anxious attachment style might be overwhelming fear of being alone, needing constant reassurance, jealousy, over possessiveness and neediness, viewing yourself negatively but others in a positive way, highly sensitive to others' emotional states. Disorganized might be negative view of yourself and others, finding it hard to maintain relationships, finding yourself finding yourself freezing and disassociating often, feeling unworthy and helpless, and unpredictable behavior. Now, an avoidant attachment style might be viewing yourself positively, but others in a negative light, pushing others away, having trust issues and feeling like you don't need anyone, craving emotional intimacy but feeling uncomfortable when you get it, and extremely independent. So, secure, think you are secure in all of the relationships you have in your life. You know how to set boundaries. You have strong self worth and confidence and righteousness and humility through the power of the Most High. Healthy balance, boundaries. Anxious, think more so you don't know how to be alone, so you always need someone to, you always need people to reassure you. You always need that constant reassurance. You, when you notice other people coming into people you love lives, you kind of get on the fence about it. You might not show it in outward, but inwardly you have all these thoughts of, oh my gosh, what if they stop talking to me? What if this happens? You might be jealous, possessive, and highly sensitive to others' emotional states, meaning you kind of are always able to. When I think of that, I kind of think like kind of wanting to take on other people's problems and feel like you got to fix it. For disorganized, think maybe viewing negative of yourself, like you don't really know what you want, you're just confused. You feel unworthy. You're not really confident. And for avoidant, think, the idea of I can do bad by myself. You don't trust nobody. You don't want to talk to nobody. You're not going to get vulnerable to nobody. You don't need nobody. You good. Think that. Now, also note that your attachment style can change over the years. And you can heal and get different attachment styles, but we all want to get to that secure. Now, when I was growing up and a teenager, I definitely had that avoidant attachment style. When I was coming to the truth, I had avoidant for sure. For sure. I was all the way avoidant. No, I'm good. I'm good. But all praise to Most High for healing and for growth. So Level and that was like a nice I'll put this link in the chat so sisters can look at that one. But yeah.
Um. Wait. What?
It's like what?
I was like, I was trying to figure out who were still on the other one. I had sent the different examples to my email.
Oh, you want to put it up?
Let me see. I can just read it off of this. Unless you want me to send it to you, but I was gonna skim through it really quickly.
Okay.
Let me see. Let me see. Okay. Well, one y'all can still see me. Okay. This is from.
Yeah, we can still see you.
Okay.
Give me a second.
Trying to see why it's not put up. I'm gonna just go to it though. But so this is from Chat GPT. Sometimes they be having some more truth in here. So it says secure attachment, the balanced one. So it says the core vibe is okay, I trust you and I trust myself, how it shows up in friendships. You're comfortable with closeness and space, not or, and space. And you communicate directly, hey, that bothered me, so on and so forth. And you don't panic when or if a friend is busy or distant temporarily. And you give support without overextending yourself. So this is the healthiest baseline. If anything, these people, they might outgrow or distance from an unhealthy friendship faster. The anxious attachment, the vibe is, do you really care about me? So this leaks into friendships and overthinking text. They left me in the red. Are we good? needing frequent reassurance. Hey, we still cool? Am I gonna be good? Da, da, da. Feeling hurt easily by small shifts in tone or attention. You know, they might be trying to correct you on something. Are you feeling some type of way? And oh, dang. Well, maybe it's, what all that. People pleasing to avoid rejection, getting very close very fast. So that's definitely a red flag too. It takes time to cultivate genuine, good, long-lasting relationships. Granted, some people they click immediately, but a good bit of relationships, they take time. You got to go through some hard stuff. You got to step
That's
on
with
toes.
anything in life. Things take time.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah. So common behaviors: double texting or checking in a lot, feeling left out if not invited to everything, taking longer to calm down after small conflicts. Slacking. Hidden fear, being abandoned or replaced. Avoidant attachment, the core vibe is I don't need anyone like that. So, how it leaks into friendships, keeping things very surface level, pulling away when someone gets too close, struggling to open up emotionally, disappearing during conflict or emotional moments. Common behaviors can be taking forever to reply, especially to emotional texts. Sister might be coming to you to counsel, hey, I'm going through this, and that, and you just leave her on red. You don't know what to say, or you just whatever. You
Too much
thinking,
for you to handle.
right, it's too much. Okay, that's too much. I can't take that on right now. I you don't want to be like that. You don't want to be like
Now,
that.
granted, if you're in a different situation in your life and you're not able to bear it, that's different. We're
Right,
talking
but
about
communicate.
purposely avoiding it
Right,
because, oh, no, I don't like this level of closeness. I'm good on that.
right. And if it is too much, make sure you communicate that. Because
Right.
again, nobody can read minds. And that sister, she might really need you in that time, but you got to communicate. Don't just leave them out on red. They just, they're obviously in a time where they're trying to lean on you.
Right.
But let me see. Yeah, taking forever to reply, especially to emotional texts. Downplaying the importance of friendships. Feeling drained by needy friends. Dang, it kind of sound like that one video. Hidden fear, losing independence, or being emotionally overwhelmed. And then disorganized, or also known as fearful avoidant. The core vibe is I want closeness, but it feels unsafe. How it leaks into friendships, hot and cold behavior, super close and then suddenly distant. And then trust issues mixed with craving connection. Like, dang, I really want to be cool with this person, but I got trust issues. I don't know if I can trust you. I'm looking at you kind of sideways. I don't know. Reading into things quickly, then withdrawing. So I'm not seeing the whole matter. And emotional intensity plus unpredictability. So common behaviors, opening up deeply, then regretting it and pulling back, testing friendships, let me see if they really care, feeling misunderstood a lot, and the hidden fear is being hurt by the very people they need. So, because I asked them how attachment styles leak into friendships, and they're saying that what leaking actually looks like in day to day. So texting patterns, clingy, distant, inconsistent, or how you handle plans, or you have a fear of exclusion versus a need for space. Conflict style, do you overreact? Do you shut down, or do you communicate? Or your emotional vulnerability, are you oversharing versus avoiding, not sharing at all? Okay, he gave us a real life example. So your friend doesn't reply for 6 hours. The secure person would say they're probably busy. Anxious would say, did I do something wrong? Avoidant would say, cool, I didn't feel like talking anyway. Disorganized, I missed them, but I'm not texting again. Sound like pride. It sound like pride right there. um mm, Okay, it says these patterns aren't personality flaws, they're learned survival strategies. Again, what Barry was bringing out from how, we were with our parents, that made an effect on us, but it's not our end. We can change these things. So, You can start shifting by noticing your default reactions without judging yourself. Well, we definitely want to judge ourselves in righteousness with grace, but of course, we want to purge out those things that are not profitable. Communicating needs clearly instead of hinting or testing, or assuming. Choosing friendships that feel safe, not chaotic. So, that's just what I wanted to bring out for that.
That was good. So I'm over eating. I'm hungry.
That
But
is
that was
always.
good. Yeah, the article we bought through with that. I got it, baby. Thank you. It just touched on the 4 attachment styles. Did you touch on all 4 of different practical examples?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah. Moments that trigger attachment responses. Anytime the relationship feels under threat could trigger an attachment response. This could be during an agreement or an argument or disagreement, during a period of separation, or another perceived threat, such as feelings of new jealousy about a new friend. Common examples include your friend doesn't text you back, but they post online. You disagree about an emotionally charged subject and fail to reach an argument. Your friend has been too busy to see you in person for a long time. Your friend has a new job.
So I hear it was agreement. My bad. You had said argument.
It says between an argument or disagreement.
No, for the second point. It says and fail to reach an agreement. Yes,
my bad. The bottom. You disagree about an emotionally charged subject and fail to reach an agreement. So your friend has been too busy to see you in person for a long time. Your friend has a new hobby or job and spends a lot of time with their new social group. Your friend wants to talk about a problem they're experiencing in your relationship. These things don't have to spell the end of your friendship, but sensitive attachments systems can perceive them this way. This can trigger attachment anxiety, attachment avoidance, or both, depending on your attachment style. So those are just a few examples that could trigger attachment responses. And since you already kind of went into who did you say? Hold on.
Very good examples too, though. That happens a lot, especially with that social media stuff. Dang, I see this as she posting on social media.
Mm-hmm.
She ain't texted back yet. What's going on? Did I do something?
Mm-hmm. I think I'm gonna still read these because these are a few different examples. But secure attachment and friendships. Comfortable feeling close with your friends and building trust with them. You don't panic that they might be done with you when they go quiet. Instead, assuming they must be busy or gently reaching out to check they're okay. You know that they'll be back when they can and that they'll still be there if you need them. Anxious, you find it easy to trust and rely on friends, but you might lean on them a little too much. You feel distressed and upset when they take too long to respond. You might send them several texts in a short period of time to reestablish contact. You might feel needy or clingy. Avoiding attachment, distance, and self-reliance. If you have an avoidant friendship attachment, you might find it difficult to build trust and closeness with friends. You might tend to be the friend who pulls away, stops replying, or doesn't have time to meet up in person. If you don't hear from someone for a long time, you might assume that they don't want to talk to you, but this doesn't bother you too much. You likely don't reach out to check on them. You might want close friends, but you don't know how to maintain those relationships. And fearful avoidant, no. You have both attachment anxiety and attachment avoidance. You might react in either way, seemingly with no pattern or reason. When your avoidance successfully pushes people away, your anxiety can kick in and try to get them back. Yet when your anxiety successfully pulls people in, your avoidance can push them away again. This push-pull can feel confusing and dramatic in relationships. I was about to say, this is confusing. That sounds confusing. I don't want to deal with that. That is...
Okay, that sounds stressful.
Okay.
What do you do? Do you want to be friends or do you not want to be friends?
Okay. And that can be confusing for your husband too. Like, girl, get it together. I'm trying to show you love. You push me away. But then when I'm not giving you love, you're like, oh my God, you haven't been hugging me. Which one is it? Get it together. But not gonna lie, a good point y'all when I made, just because you might have some of these, you struggle with these, don't mean you are like you have a character flaw. We just have to heal.
Yeah. But
let's make it our business to heal because again, I don't want to deal with no fearful avoidance. That is confusing.
Yeah.
Now I know I got some ways of myself I'm working on too. So
right.
Let's just all heal.
Let's heal. Let's heal, guys.
Ladies. Like I know I probably ain't been uh the green light in everybody's story and everybody's life anyway. So
Right.
um I think I'm gonna stop there. The rest of this going into healing your attachment patterns, and how securely people. Well, since it's short, I'll just go ahead and read it real quick. Um, okay, the self-fulfilling prophecy in friendships. These insecure patterns in friendship attachment can create self-fulfilling prophecies. When avoidance and anxiety ultimately push our friends away, we reinforce the idea that they won't stick around when we need them. One study found that young adolescents with negative social expectations took fewer social risks, which led to difficulties in social functioning as adults, demonstrating how our negative expectations can be the source of the outcome we fear. Securely attached friendships aren't perfect all the time, but conflict can be easier to recover from because a secure attachment style enables you to consider another perspective and communicate more effectively. Instead of panicking and pushing your friend away, you're able to focus on the real problem and solve it together. When you're securely attached to your friend, you know that they're there for you even when they're busy with their own life, and you don't worry that they might have suddenly changed their mind. You build trust easily with them without oversharing at the wrong time, and they can rely on you as much as you can rely on them. If you want to build more secure friendships and relationships in general, this is possible to achieve. Your attachment patterns can change over time and tend to become more secure when you have more positive experiences. The first step is understanding attachment and your own attachment style, which of the above descriptions of attachment styles of friendships rings true for you. Remember, you might not have the same attachment style with your friends as you do with your husband or family. Your general attachment style might influence your attachment to your friends. You can find this via our free attachment quiz. So I'm gonna just go ahead and link that in the chat since we on the link. Um, Reading on. Knowing your attachment style is only the first step. The next is understanding how this affects your relationships and putting secure behaviors into practice. If you send lots of texts when your friend doesn't reply, how might this make them feel and what could you do instead? If you're the friend who finds it difficult to reply, how might this make your friend feel and how could you better maintain your connection? I'm gonna stop there. So that was a good article. I really like that. I'm gonna have to look into the Attachment Project. Okay.
Straight pressure.
Attachment Project did they big one. So I know it was a lot. We covered a lot of good information. We only got a few more things to touch on because I know it's about 6 o'clock and child, I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I want to get this right here. More we're looking on here, man, and just self-examine and see how we can do better. But this is something I wanted to say. Pull up. Unfollowing does not mean beef. Limited access does not mean beef. Boundaries do not mean beef. Growing apart does not mean beef. Peers to follow to do not mean beef. Separate paths do not mean beef. Everyone is not mad at you, sis. And so that goes into the attachment styles we just read. Because if you don't have a secure attachment style, I think it sounds like if you might have an anxious one, you might think people are mad at you.
Yeah.
You're not. Last thing I'm gonna play is this one right here. Letting God remove people. So ultimately, just Lord willing, what we can get out of this lesson is just growing up in general. Learning what it means to be a friend according to the Bible. Learning that everyone in your life is not always going to be there for everyone, just for a season. It's self-examining your own ways and how you can be a better sister in Christ, how you can be a better friend. Knowing how to discern, how to have discernment, and knowing when someone is not sincere or a good true friend or sister. Growing up and healing from our own wounds so that we can effectively, healthy, and securely build bonds and righteousness and from a healthy in a healthy way. So I'm gonna show this
And I don't know who needs to hear this, but sometimes you get ghosted because you're too much. And the too much is not a negative. You're too much in a good way. You're too emotionally available. You're too emotionally mature. You're too emotionally expressive. And you know how you feel. You're good with conflict resolution. And sometimes that is too much for people. A lot of times when we talk about ghosting or people distancing themselves from you, it's always viewed in a negative way. But sometimes people leave because they do not have the capacity to carry what you come with. So it's not always a bad thing when somebody exits your life or when somebody leaves. Because I can tell you firsthand, I ghosted plenty of people, especially in high school, because I knew nothing about healthy conflict resolution. We get in an argument, I want to break up. That's it. I don't want to talk it out, but I also never knew how to. I didn't know how to manage emotions that wasn't positive. So if you're coming to me telling me about something that needs to be corrected or fixed, I immediately want to leave. Dismissive, avoidant for sure. And it wasn't because that person was a bad person. It was because I was emotionally immature. I was emotionally closed off. So I did not understand how to process these emotions. So I'm going to ghost you. And a lot of times when that happens to people, I've heard people talk about how hurtful it is. And then they'll begin to look at themselves like, what did I do wrong? When the whole time you didn't do anything wrong. You actually were handling the situation in the right way. But I, in that season of my life, did not have the emotional capacity to steward that, to manage that, and to have healthy conflict resolution. So if you experience that, I want to challenge you to pray and ask God to give you spiritual insight and clarity on it and why it happens to you, because it's not always a bad thing. Sometimes people walk away because they don't have the strength to carry the weight that you come with. And that's a win for you. Why would you want a weak person carrying you? And I don't know who needs to hear this, but
So Khan, you know, some people are only in your life for a season. Some people, you know what they say in the world, some people are blessings, other people are lessons.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so
Yeah.
sometimes, yeah. Ultimately, we just want to try to be healthy, have those healthy, secure connections, because just sometimes people, unfortunately, relationships do end because people weren't able to know how to be mature and have a conversation
Yeah.
and to be able to talk about their feelings in a respectful manner, adult, mature manner. Um, I have one more thing to pull up real quick. So, hmm. Godly friendships feel different. No gossip, no tearing down ourselves, just laughter, intentional conversations, and women who lead each other closer to God. So ultimately, that's what we're striving for. This is our friendships and sisterhoods. It's not based on the world's standards. It's based on what the Bible say, how we should interact with one another. We shouldn't be gossiping, tearing each other down, just pushing one another to be better, holding one another accountable, and being able to have a good time in righteousness. And I forgot to play this, but I want to play this real quick.
While you pull that up, I just want to say really quick.
Huh?
Can you hear me?
Dang, I was playing something. Did y'all see what I was showing? Did y'all hear me?
We heard you. Um.
Okay. I was playing something.
Oh no, I don't think we heard it then.
Okay. So this is what I had pulled up. Godly friendships feel different. No
Yeah.
gossiping, no tearing down ourselves, just laughter, intentional conversation, women who lead each other closer to God. And this is what I forgot to play this, but
made me feel like X, Y, and Z. That is not the time for Sarah to. And I'm gonna say it again. Y'all don't be having proper friendship etiquette. So let me tell y'all something. When your friend is telling you, "Hey, Sarah, you did this to hurt my feelings, and it made me feel like X, Y, and Z," that is not the time for Sarah to sit there and say, "Well, you did this. This is what you did in 2017 or in 1999. That also hurt me as well." Stop. Stop. Not your time. You allow your friend to express their feeling, because now it's just going to seem like it's a tit for tat, or you've been holding something in that's caused you to have resentment towards me. And that's not what friendship is about, right? So when your friend upsets you or they do something, a lot of times people do stuff subconsciously and they don't know that they did it, or they don't know that it hurt you. There will be the time to explain to them and express to them like, "Hey, this wasn't right. This made me feel like X, Y, and Z." You know what I'm saying? You don't wait until the person is expressing their feelings and then you say that. Like, it just seems different, you know? We got to have some type of etiquette and we got to grow up. I said this before.
So I'm gonna end on that note. ultimately it's all about maturing and growing up at the end of the day and communicating. Me and y'all and I kept saying communicate, communicate, because sometimes it's like what the scriptures say. Uh, Everybody has slipped in their speech, but not from their heart.
Mhm.
Sometimes it may be that he have not done it, and if he did, he won't do it no more again. Let me pull that up real quick. Uh,
Um,
all right, this is Sirach 19:16. There is one that slippeth in his speech, but not from his heart. And who is he that have not offended with his tongue? Therefore, there might be some things somebody might say, but they didn't mean no harm. They didn't slip from their heart, like they just slipped in their tongue. Flesh just Satan just can hop them real quick. And
yeah,
so,
it happens.
yeah, we got to give grace when we are offended. Now, certain situations, obviously, it's all situational. It's all situational. Um,
Mhm.
Now, again, we don't want to be a pushover. And I want
Right.
to get this right here. I think it's in the same chapter, Sirach 19 still. Let me go up. Yeah, verse number 13. Admonish a friend, and maybe he have not done it, and if he have done it, that he do it no more. Admonish thy friend, and maybe he have not said it, and if he have it, he's speaking out again. Admonish a friend, for many times it is slander, and believing they ever tell. So, hey, admonish is kind of like a let me look that up real quick.
Kind of like a rebuke,
Yeah,
a
admonish
warning.
is a warning. It's a reproving or advising someone gently but firmly, often with the intent of correction or counseling rather than harsh punishment. So it's like a gentle reminder, a gentle correction. You know what I mean? They probably, admonish him. It may be she didn't even mean to do that, or she didn't do that, but she's not going to know if you don't speak up.
Right.
And so sometimes it may be slip from the tongue, but not from your heart. Did that like that's not their character? They didn't mean that at all. Now, granted, whether you meant it or not, it still don't change how that made me feel.
Right.
It's true. You still might have hurt that person, but that person might not have meant it from the sincere heart that they strive to have. So, admonish them. Maybe that they have not done it. They may not said it. Communicate. Closed mouth don't get fed. But that was all. Lord willing, this was very edifying through the spirit.
Um,
A lot of thought went into this through the power of the Most High, and I'm so glad we broke it up in parts because child would have been 6 hours long, and I don't got to do it. Don't.
okay. I
So
did have one more. Oh, so like here.
no, I was about to say, Lord willing, this is edifying. Okay, go ahead.
I just have one more point. Also with the one of the posts that Beer just brought out. Don't be mad if somebody does decide to part ways with you based on, your own inconsistencies, your own attachment styles, whatever the case may be, or lack of boundaries, lack of respect. And just again, like she was saying, remember that people do fall out with certain people, outgrow people change, people's mindsets change, you grow, you go through things, and it's no bad blood. It don't always have to be bad blood, it's just friendships change. Life changes, people remove people out of, you know, the most high removes people out of your life. You might get removed out of somebody else's life, but you just gotta trust in the most high's will, trust that, that person was with you for that season, whatever the case was. Like, dang, the friendship different now, da da da. All of that is the will of the most high. Control what you can control, and find that comfort in the most high, knowing like, hey, it is what it is. Just ensure, there's no contention or unforgiveness, of course, dwelling within you with said relationships and friendships. So, Lord willing, this was edifying. I love, love, love this series.
Me too. I'll play this.
Definitely. Oh, Slocky.
No, I was gonna say this is good. This is really good. I'll praise the Most High. I'll praise the Most High. Lord willing, sister got something out of it. We can all just strive to heal, and just work on ourselves and try to have those secure, healthy attachments. Heal from our pain, our childhood wounds and traumas and pain, so it don't trickle over into how we parent our children, our marriage, or how we connect and show up with anybody.
Yeah.
But let's all try to be godly, sincere women, sincere friends, sisters in Christ, and grow up and mature.
Yes.
Yeah.
Second.
Love y'all. Shalom. Have a great week, and Lord, everybody had a good, beautiful feast week. And for the sisters about to celebrate their passion.
Y'all. Lord willing, y'all have a